I'm Guy Lane and this is the Planet Report. In the Dead Ocean Olympics, in a new event to swallow trash and die on a photogenic beach, a pod of sperm whales goes for gold with a combined stomach flush of 625 kilograms of single-use plastic bags. The Dead Puffin Index continues our winning streak with a personal best of 35.3 metric tons a day of emaciated, colourfully-beaked, plastic-filled seabirds washing up on the shores of the Northern Hemisphere. In food news, African swine flu, also known as sausage fever, continues to wreak havoc across Asia, with China executing 150 million pigs, a third of China's swine, put to death for getting the flu. In the good old US of A, a nation remains largely unable to plant crops due to extreme rainfall and flooding, placing upward pressure on global food supplies. A good time to adopt a Perium diet, indeed. In Greta news, Arnold Schwarzenegger and the Secretary General of the United Nations and some other guy become the latest adults to come under child supervision. In a rare break from the norms of international diplomacy, two politicians actually spoke words of climate truth. Mexican Environment Minister Secretary Victor Manuel Toledo Manzur stated in no uncertain terms that parasitic and predatory neoliberalism is to blame for the climate crisis. And across the pond, the head of Scotland's Nature Conservation Agency, Francesca Osawaska, warned that the hilly, haggis-rich nation faces an apocalypse of flooded towns, dead forests and polluted rivers, not to mention legions of dead puffins, unless urgent action is taken to cut CO2 emissions. In Australian news, the federal government, headed by a Pentecostalist PM who speaks in tongues and thinks that Jesus is coming back, puts a career politician in charge of the Great Barrier Reef with a plan to tackle the climate change extinction of the world's largest marine ecosystem by banning the use of plastic straws. In Queensland, the Palaszczuk government signs a death warrant for the black-throated finch to further enrich the Indian billionaire, demonstrating that biosphere integrity, functional and genetic diversity are low on the list of Anastasia Palaszczuk's planetary boundary priorities. And finally, in Brisbane, an Extinction Rebellion die-in at the Science Museum, in which 300 people pretended to be dead under skeletons of long-extinct dinosaurs to draw attention to the ongoing annihilation of nature and looming civilization collapse, received exactly 0 mentions in the mainstream media. A causus rebelli against the mainstream media, if ever there was one. I'm Guy Lane, and that's the Planet Report.